place against 100 until he was killed. Still it was guarded not only at the mouth where the warrior had appeared, but further along at every turn in the jagged chasm, and these were many. Into this grim place we went. The Zulus did not like it at all, for they are a light loving people, and I noted that even Umslopogaas seemed scared and hung back a little. Nor did Hans, who with his usual suspicion feared some trap, nor for the matter of that did I, though I thought it well to appear much interested. Only Robertson seemed quite indifferent and trudged along stolidly after a man carrying a torch. Old Billali put his head out of the litter and shouted back to me to fear nothing, since there were no pitfalls in the path, his voice echoing strangely between those narrow walls of measureless height. For half an hour or more we pursued this dreary winding path, round the corners of which the draught tore in gusts so fierce that more than once the litters with the wounded men and those who bore them were nearly blown over. It was safe enough, however, since on either side of us, smooth and without break, rose the sheer walls of rock over which lay the tiny ribbon of blue sky. At length the cleft widened somewhat and the light grew stronger, making the torches unnecessary. Then of a sudden we came to its end and found ourselves upon a little plateau in the mountain side. Behind us for 1,000 feet or so rose the sheer rock wall as it did upon the outer face, while in front and beneath, far beneath, was a beautiful plain, circular in shape and of great extent, which plain was everywhere surrounded, so far as I could see, by the same wall of rock. In short, notwithstanding its enormous size, without doubt it was neither more nor less than the crater of a vast extinct volcano. Lastly, not far from the centre of this plain was what appeared to be a city, since through my glasses I could see great walls, built of stone, and what I thought were houses, all of them of a character more substantial than any I had discovered in the wilds of Africa. I went to Billali's litter and asked him who lived in the city. "No one," he answered. "It has been dead for thousands of years, but she who commands is camped there at present with an army, and thither we go at once. Forward, bearers." So Robertson and I, having re-entered our litters, we started on downhill at a rapid pace, for the road, though steep, was safe and kept in good order. All the rest of that afternoon we travelled, and by sunset reached the edge of the plain, where we halted a while to rest and eat, till the light of the growing moon grew strong enough to enable us to proceed. Umslopogaas came up and spoke to me. "Here is a fortress indeed, Macumazahn," he said, "since no one can climb that fence of rock in which the holes seem to be few and small." "Yes," I answered, "but it is one out of which those who are in would find it difficult to get out. We are buffaloes in a pit, Umslopogaas." "That is so," he answered. "I have thought it already. But if any would meddle with us we still have our horns and can toss for a while." Then he went back to his men. The sunset in that great solemn place was a wonderful thing to see. First of all the measureless crater was filled with light like a bowl with fire. Then as the great orb sank behind the western cliff, half of the plain became quite dark, while shadows seemed to rush forward over the eastern part of its surface, till that too was swallowed up in gloom, and for a little while there remained only a glow, reflected upon the cliff face and from the sky above, while on the crest of the parapet of rock played strange and glorious fires. Presently these too vanished and the world was dark. Then the half moon broke from behind a bank of clouds, and by its silver, uncertain light we struggled forward across the flat plain, rather slowly now, for even the iron muscles of those bearers grew tired. I could not see much of it, but I gathered that we were passing through crops, very fine crops to judge by their height, as doubtless they would be upon this lava soil. Also once or twice we splashed through streams. At length, being tired and lulled by the swaying of the litter and by the sound of a weird, low chant that the bears had set up now that they neared home and were afraid of no attack, I sank into a doze. When I awoke again it was to find that the litter had halted and to hear the voice of Billali say, "Descend, white lords, and come with your companions, the black warrior and the yellow man who is named Light in Darkness. She who commands desires to see you at once before you eat and sleep, and must not be kept waiting. Fear not for the others, they will be cared for till you return." End of chapter 11 of She and Allan by H. Rider Haggard. Read by Lars Rolander.